be a psychoanalyst. And that was because I'd been reading books by Freud and all the other analysts when I was an undergraduate, and I had taken a course as an undergraduate from just a charismatic teacher who was totally Freudian, and I got sort of steeped in all of the id, the ego, and all of that. And the medical students were supposed to do research or hook up with somebody and do a quarter of research, and I just couldn't decide. So in my freshman year, I didn't do anything like that. I took a course, and then in the beginning of the sophomore year in neurophysiology, Nathaniel Kleitman, who was one of the professors that taught neurophysiology, gave a talk, and he talked a little bit about consciousness. And this is not original, but I had become very interested in how the mind, and the brain can interact, and how the brain can give rise to the mental. And I thought, well, here's this man studying sleep, and if we can learn what we lose when we fall asleep and what comes back when we wake up, that should certainly shed some light on how the brain creates a conscious mind. And so I knocked on his door. He opened the door, not very widely. He was somewhat brusque. As I got to know him, and I don't know why I feel I have to say this now, because some people have mentioned that I painted him as a little too abrupt. I grew to love him, is the actual truth. But at any rate, I said, I'm very interested to work with you, not really knowing exactly what he did. And he said, have you read my book? And the book was Sleep and Wakefulness, first edition, 1939. It was extremely well written. And I think I was able to come back and say, well, I've read your book, which probably impressed him, and he said, you can work with me. And he put me immediately to work helping his only graduate student at the time. At any rate, Kleitman had become very interested in eye movements during sleep, and for years it had been known that as you fall asleep, your eyes can drift slowly back and forth, and Kleitman thought that might be a good indicator of depth of sleep, and he began to study eye motility, not saying rapid versus slow, but just eye motility or anything, in infants. And then I think somebody suggested that maybe you should study older folks, and that maybe it'd be good to use brainwave recordings. Well, what they had then, I wish I had a photograph of it, is this first Offner electroencephalograph, which looked like a roll of adding machine paper, one pen, and it didn't work. And fortunately for everybody, a cardiovascular physiologist named John Perkins, who was in the Department of Physiology, had been given a 4-channel, 4-amplifier Grass Model 3 vacuum tube electroencephalogram or polygraph, and he would let Ozorinsky use it. Ozorinsky discovered electrooculography. Now, the slow eye movements were very, very readily observed, both on the polygraph and in the subjects, but what originally were the first rapid eye movement recordings were thought to be artifacts, because those vacuum tube amplifiers, you breathe hard and you get artifact. And I would say that the rapid eye movements during sleep were discovered on the polygraph, not by looking at the subject, and it was quite a while before a system was developed, an array of plugging in the electrodes that could tell you that it was an eye movement, not an artifact. And then, of course, it was dramatic how rapid the eye movements were. I actually studied the velocity later, and it was exactly the same or teensy bit faster than waking saccadic eye movements. Once the dichotomy was, discovered, then this differentiation came about. We just had no idea that there were two different types of eye movements from the very first observations.